we're going to talk to Egberto about communicating across political divides. And so I'd be really interested to hear what he says about this.
For sure. Egberto, get ready. We're bringing you on in 1 minute. We're going to talk about this.
I am so excited. Dana will tell you that I freaked out when she told me that she'd reached out to Egberto to bring him on, because I know Egberto from way back in the day on Daily Kos. Like, I remember, I think he and I both joined Daily Kos, like 2003, 2004 timeline. And so I have read a million things that he has written, and like, he's famous as far as I'm concerned. He's built this amazing platform, and so we're just incredibly excited that he's here. Egberto, hello.
How you doing? Man, I'm glad to be here, man. I'm really happy to be here. And yes, Daily Kos. You remember those days when we had from Yearly Kos back into Netroots Nation?
Did you ever go to the Yearly Kos back in the day?
Yeah, Austin. Yeah.
Okay, I went. You remember the one in Chicago, right as Obama and Hillary were fighting it out?
Yes, I was there as well. It was great.
I was there too.
Yeah, I go every year. And in fact, I got back. We had a good one out this year I kind of forget where they are now, but where did we go? I think we're in, no, not Chicago. We were somewhere. It blows my mind, but I go, New Orleans. That's right. We're in New Orleans.
Nice. Yeah, man. I've been reading your stuff for a very long time. I'm so honored to meet you. Thanks.
I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that. And guess what? We had, I saw Dana on yesterday, and I said, "Hey, girl, call me. I want to talk to you." And we actually spoke a little bit on the phone. But you know what's so funny? I had the tripleta. I had the 3 shots, and it messed you up for a day, man. I had the flu, the COVID, and the pneumonia at one time. It messed you up.
Yeah.
I am just coming back. Like, it really. I mean, it's like having a light version of the sickness, but like, it felt just like this, like, covering on me. I came home from work and got on the couch, and I just like said hi to my kids, and I was sort of like, I ordered DoorDash. Can you please take the dog out for her final walk? I like crawled up the stairs to bed, like, and then it just lifted. So glad to be vaccinated. So grateful to live somewhere where it's not a question here in Seattle. Like, I just walked into CVS and there it was. And so glad to be talking to you today. It was so wild to get patched on while Egberto is live. He has a phone number up, and it's like, call me. And you shouted me out when you saw me in the chat and said, "Dana, call me up." And I was like, all right. And like, just like that, we were talking.
It was great. But you know what? Before I forget to say, look, my wife got shingles. And I'm not kidding. She has lupus, though, so she has a secondary thing. It almost killed her.
Oh my God, Egberto.
Hey, sis, go get your shingles shot. Because that was her second time as well. The second time she got shingles, the first time it was bad. It was really bad, like you said, but the second time almost killed her. She caused probably about 20 people to go get the shot right away. That's how sick she was.
Okay. Yeah, I had it 5 years ago. Like, I had it the minute I turned 50. It was the worst birthday gift ever. I'm exaggerating. It was like a month after I turned 50, but had no idea what it was. And it was Labor Day weekend. And I was like, I have to wait till morning because I hate going to the emergency room. I don't want to wait, and it's expensive, but I think I might be dying. I think my liver is about to explode. I had no idea what it was. And the doctor took one look and was like, "Oh yeah, that's shingles. Of course it hurts. It's nerve pain."
Yeah.
So thankfully I caught it early and got on the meds, and it wasn't terrible, but yeah, it was really uncomfortable. And okay, I'm going to find time where I can just be sick, and then 2 weeks later I can be sick again. That's the problem, is you have to game out. So like, when do I have a day? And then when in 2 weeks do I have another day? But
yeah,
thank you. And I'm glad your wife is okay. I'm sorry she went through that.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Would you do us the honor of telling the chat here about you? Like, introduce yourself to the people. I of course know you because I've been following you for years, but let everyone else know kind of what you do and what you're all about.
Okay, I have a program called, first of all, on Substack, I have a newsletter called Egberto Off the Record. And I have a radio show on KPFT 90.1, which is a Pacifica Network station called Politics Done Right, where I do, I'm a very left-wing progressive guy, but in being a left-wing progressive guy, I believe in being very inclusive. So I bring everybody onto my show, whether they're right-wing, MAGA, left, whatever they are. I want to talk to you. You know, I mean, I really,
you're a brave man.
Yeah, I know. I try. You know, so I want to talk to everybody, right? So I also I have a website called egbertowillies.com and politicsandright.com where I do all my blogging and writing that then gets immediately transposed to right here on Substack. When I found the Substack platform, I kind of got excited because it sort of up until recently, we were really a family of writers like Lawrence. You used to write at the Daily Kos, and you know it's a family of writers that we could actually interchange a lot. It's getting it's kind of turning a little bit commercial that I hope they can fix right now. But that's who I am. I really do political commentary, political activism, and a lot of writing.
I just put a link to your website in the chat so people can go find you and start following you if they don't already.
Thank you.
Yes, and shout out to the chat. Go ahead and click that heart button for Egberto, because we know if you click the heart button early and often, it raises you up in the algorithm on Substack so people can find this while we're going. So let's give and plus just make Egberto feel welcome.
Yes. And Egberto, you've written a lot of books as well, right? You write about politics.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I have.
Right. I have all these books that are on Amazon that are really highly rated, you know.
I am the worst marketer bar none. Okay. I am the worst. I'm terrible. I have a book. The first book I wrote was, you remember during Obamacare when that was coming out and they were talking about throwing your mother off the cliff and all. I got really pissed off. So I'm like, you know, I went into a Starbucks and wrote this book in Starbucks called As I See It, Class Warfare, the Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. And that one did fairly well. And soon after that, I wrote another one called How to Talk to Your... I live in a very red area. I wasn't lucky like both of you to live somewhere where you can go to the coffee shop and everybody thinks the same. I live in a red area.
Well, hey, so, I'm in Indiana now, so I moved back home to be near my mom as she gets older. And so I feel you, man. I'm in a place where I think about what T-shirts I wear outside so that...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I engage. I sit down in Starbucks a lot and I engage a lot of these people. And we've gotten the level of respect where if they see my car park outside, they'll drive up and say, oh, he's in there. He'll come in and let's go ahead and have a hard time. And, you know, I'm not trying to change anybody's ideology. I'm just trying to change your vote their own interest, right? So they talk, and believe it or not, one at a time we get somewhere. And I tell you, it's a little story. There's this guy that came into Starbucks one time. Actually, this wasn't one at Starbucks. This was the one at the gym. And he slapped me on the back and he said, you're going to like me. I'm like, why? He says, this year I'm voting your way. I'm like, what?
Wow.
But there's a catch.
Always.
But I'm no damn Democrat.
You know,
that's fine.
We don't need people to be Democrats as long as they're going to vote, you know, rationally and in their own best interest, which we all know is voting for the Democrats for now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I yearn for a day where I am tempted by a Republican candidate. I yearn for the day where I'm not even tempted for a Republican candidate, but that I have a respect for them again. And that I'm like, finally, there's someone sensible across the aisle to counterpoint what we're saying.
Yes.
That's what it's supposed to be. And I think our publication is called Gen XC. Lawrence and I think we're all Gen X here on this call. You don't have to be to join, but Gen X is the generation that can really remember when, like, you were like, okay, well, we're on different sides of the aisle. I profoundly disagree with how you believe in maybe funding a government, but I believe in your humanity, and I believe that we can have a conversation because it's just politics. You were able to say things like it's just politics and not be an asshole. Even as I said that, I felt like I was using like a pejorative because it's so not.
But you're not. You're just being real, right?
Right. And it's no longer like that. Like, I really want to hear more of how you're able to have these conversations and not just lose your stomach or lose your cool, because I do. Because all I hear is like, it's pretty subhuman to me for someone to be okay with, say, a video of the president as a king shitting all over other Americans. Like, that hits me in a core emotional way. And because it's what it's made to do, that like, if you're excusing this in any way, or you see it and you're just like, that's just political satire, even if it's coming from the official president's account, like that it disqualifies, in my mind, it disqualifies you from a conversation. So I won't have it. We were just talking about hitting the block button on anyone who comes in that way. How do you not hit the block button and stay open to discourse with someone like that?
Let me tell you the way I feel, right?
Yeah.
I feel if you need, first of all, the most important thing about it is your own sanity. Your own sanity. That's the most important piece. So when that person comes in with that negative comment, it so riled you up internally. Like Lawrence was saying in the preamble earlier, what he liked about Blue Sky is that as it happens, he just block. As it happens, he just block. That is fine. Yeah. I don't have any problem with people doing that, and I respect people doing that, right? Mm-hmm. I don't. And let me just tell you what I say I don't. There has to be a few of us that are thick-skinned, and my skin, believe me, is a mile thick, okay? It has to be, that have to be thick-skinned to be able to take all this dung and pause, listen, see how the hell they got the way they got, and see if you can, there's this thing in biology, right? If you can't get to the cell with normal ways, but viruses found a way to do it. So what vaccines and other technologies have been able to do is they say, okay, since that virus knows how to get there, I put the payload in that virus, send that virus to the cell, and then it blows up in the cell. So you fool it into that. I consider myself in a lot of these ways that virus that's carrying the payload. Mm-hmm. In other words, I can take all the dung. I can take it all. I can sit down and talk to them. And in fact, I did a little video at our own No Kings, where I made this guy do all the talking he wanted. And because I made him do all the talking and saying all the things, even when I start talking, they can't take it, but he had to listen when I said, remember, I made you talk. Now let me talk. And his biggest fear is to make me talk because he still has a rational mind, and he will have to react to his own rational mind. And that's what I find in dealing with people. The thing about it, though, Dana, is that not everybody wants to do that. And to some extent, I say, I'm with you. Why the hell do you have to do it? You did it the right way. You don't have to do it. But some of us see some value in doing it because, well, at some point, even though we make up most of the population, we don't make up enough of the voting population to make a change. So I want to bring some of these guys over. Yeah. I want to bring them over, but I have no negativity towards those who says, I just can't deal with it. I can't deal with it.
I want to hear some strategies. I think if I felt like there were any chance I'd be successful in changing a mind or heart, I would be more likely to do it. But now it's more of a protect sanity thing. It's a block to burn thing, right? Like in the parlance of there's a dating method called the burned haystack dating method. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Is that the one where you go up real quick around?
No. This is I don't want to get too deep into this, but it's a rhetorical strategy. It's using rhetorical patterns to block men on online dating to not waste your time. It's kind of a flip script on the women should give men chances and da-da-da. And it was invented by Jenny Young, who has a PhD in rhetoric. And she has all of these rhetorical patterns that she has observed on the apps and others have brought to her attention that she says are disqualifiers. Like if men are displaying X, it's a negative indicator to know this person. It means they're likely to be abusive, they're likely to be narcissistic, they're likely to be XYZ, and that you don't try to change them, you don't challenge them, you don't give them a chance. You just block, either from their profile or if they respond in ways that are demonstrating these rhetorical patterns. And I think that's what Blue Sky is doing with
what Lauren said.
Yeah, exactly. With what Lauren said earlier. And it makes sense.
If you're blocking all of the kind of folks who are going to throw you shit, then you're left with only the people that you want to engage with, essentially.
Right. So it's not a means of trying to convert the unconvertible. It's a means of sharing discourse with people with similar views, which some people would call an echo chamber, and I would call a knowledge sharing technique, right? And I get the point because I sometimes do the blog. I love that Substack lets you report and block and just delete. You can actually just delete comments now. I think that's kind of new. I didn't notice it before. If you just want to keep your space cleaned up. I have done both. I've had stories, the story Middle-Aged Men Keep Ogling My 16-Year-Old, which is the most viral story I've had on Substack so far. I got second most, but we won't talk about the first one. But in that story, I had so many men and a couple of women, but mostly men come in and challenge it and some of them were people who I felt like it was worth having a conversation with. But most of them were not. But instead of blocking them, I elevated them, right? I restacked it and was like, this is what women on the internet have to deal with for expressing a point of view. And I think there can be value in that. But some days I do think it makes more sense, especially when it's as nonsensical as the example I gave earlier when I posted a Black woman professor's views about Trump literally shitting on protesters in an AI video. And his response was, well, Biden is whiter. Like that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense as an argument. Like there's no logic about it. And also, it's like makes my brain explode because, of course, the first thing my mind goes to when seeing things like that is, oh my God, can you imagine if Biden or Obama had done something like this? Can you even imagine? And that how can Trump's allies not see the disparity and how the media and just the public in general is treating the daily atrocities we're seeing out of the Trump regime?
You know, it's interesting because you brought up the media. I don't know if you followed some of the stuff that I talk about, the mainstream media. I think a lot of what we're going through right now, the mainstream media is actually complicit and in fact responsible for all that we're going through because of how they cover things. But they're only covering things the way that their masters have told them to cover it and how they can. And that is the plutocracy, makes them. But earlier on, you made a comment that you said, if you thought you were making a difference, if you stayed engaged, maybe you would try it. I have a quick story if I can tell you that quick story.
We'd love to hear
I'm sitting down in a Starbucks and, I do a lot of I don't go to Starbucks as much anymore since the pandemic, but I sitting down in a Starbucks, I'm writing my blogs and writing my show. And this woman comes in and she sit next to me. And you can see that she wanted to talk and say something, but her talking and saying something was pretty much like, why the hell every time I come in here, you are here sitting down with a laptop? I know that's you can infer that that's the question that she wants to ask. So, but pretty much she said, anytime I come in here, you're here. What do you do? So I said, I write. That's all I said. I write. And something else I told her. And then I don't remember when the discussion got towards healthcare. So I live in a very red area. People that are anti-Obamacare, anti-everything progressive or whatever. So being here, I know she probably thinks, okay, he's probably a black Republican in here. And especially if he's in here with a laptop every day, he probably fits the profile. So she felt comfortable. And she started to talk, and she started to talk about healthcare and how much problems she was having with her insurance company. And she hated how she had to go ahead and get these pre-authorizations and all this stuff. And she have a good policy because her husband is an executive with one of these oil companies or something. And all I did was listen. I kept on listening to what she said. And then my thing, and I did it with some leading questions, but I said, like, now, if you could do this all on your own, how would you want it to work? And then I made her come up with all these ideas. And sometimes I will tailor the idea but the insurance company is only doing that. Don't you think if that's all they do, really, they're skimming money, all that good. And she's agreeing with everything that we're saying, that I'm talking to her about. And she's into becoming a damn socialist now without realizing it. Okay. So, so I am starting to feel guilty now because I'm like, here it is. I brought this woman onto the path of progressivism, and she thinks I'm this black conservative out here. So I said, ma'am, I want to let you know one thing. What you are describing is what we call Medicare for all. That's, she got into a shock. And then I said, and I also want you to know, I am likely the most left-wing person you have ever met in your life. Oh, and she turned red like a cherry. And then she looked at me in my eyes and she said, but you're so nice.
Oh.
And that right there tells you what the problem is.
Yeah.
They have made those of us who are progressive look like people with horns.
The devil, yeah.
They have made us look like the policies we support is a caricature, right? Yeah. So that is deep in their hearts. That's what they believe. That's what their media tells them. And our media does a poor job of putting things out as they should. Yeah. So now she can no longer equate progressive with horns and policies that are things that would really harm me, because in that one conversation, she became a full-blown supporter of the kind of programs that we can find in Denmark, etc. And that's what I always let them talk and talk and talk. In fact, the guy in our No Kings protest, I said, tell me what MAGA, what it means to you. And check out the video. Check out his initial phrase when I asked him to tell me what it means to him. You could immediately see him go back. And then he tried to come and pull things out on what to say. They're parrots. There's not a whole lot of deep thought there. And these are smart people, but they don't have a lot of deep thought. They deep thinking in the things they support. It's just ideological. And when you force them to go a little bit deeper, that's when things start to happen.
That's so interesting. So really, like, your tactic is let them talk first, and then in a way, you're kind of using that in several ways. You're learning about them and where they're coming from, but then also, when you start to talk, you're kind of using it as a bargaining chip of saying, like, well, I let you speak, right, and so now it's my turn.
Right.
And the hope there is that, like, they're still rational enough that they know that that's fair, right? And we all value fairness, and so they have to give you your chance.
Right. And the other thing about it is, like, they are not, look, we all know that the things they support is crap. We know that. And I mean, I'm sorry. That's what now all we are trying to do is let them tell us it's crap, because they are embarrassed to tell us it's crap. You know, I mean, think about the farmers now, right? Look at the farmers now.
They support, aren't they?
They, it's like tariff. No, this is what's going to happen. We've been telling them this for a whole while. Now we're asking them, explain why it is that you will continue to do that, doing what you did, if so. And, they are having a hard time right now. They're having, and the thing is, I'm not being completely FAFO with them, but to some extent, you do want to be a tad bit FAFO with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because the truth of the matter is, and I've said this recently on my show, I think in the long run, for the leaders and the people that are pushing this, we have got to let them pay a price when we get through with all of this. Because I don't know what you think, Dana and Lawrence, but I think recovering from this catastrophe is going to be a long haul.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll live
right there with you.
I don't think in our lifetimes we're going to recover from this.
Yeah.
Maybe our kids.
I would agree. I think that, we can certainly be on the path towards recovering, but in terms of, America ever being again at the place of, economic security and international influence and trustability, I don't know that that's ever coming back. But I 100% agree with you, Egberto, that we need, people have kind of said like Nuremberg trials and Truth and Reconciliation Commission, like we absolutely need to hold people accountable. And that includes people in corporate America, right? Like we've seen Tim Cook and Zuckerberg and Bezos and all these guys bend the knee to Trump. And and to the point that Bezos changed editorial policy at the Washington Post. And, the media, big corporations, there has to be consequences for this because they have led us down the path of ruining American democracy. We can't let that go unpunished. We can't.
It's amazing. The rest of the world, I came from Panama, Central America, and we had the United States up on a pedestal, not because we didn't know of the ills that we've gone through here, but because it's a country that was constantly on that. Obama has a word that he put it, but on a steady path forward, right? A steady path, getting better, getting more honest, getting more all these things, right? And then we allow what's going on now. The first time in 2016, we could have said, we made a mistake. Something is happening now. But when you do it a second time, the way you do it, the rest of the world, they are making their way away from an American-centric world. And now, I hate to say it, we're slowly in, for the folks who go overseas now, they can realize that all of Latin America, all of the Caribbean, all of the African countries, they have more of an alliance now with China than they have with the United States. They don't say it overtly with any news media with the United States, but when you go and read the media over in these countries, all the alliances are with China. China's building a huge port in Peru. They have the ports in Panama, and they build interstates and not interstate, but freeways in Jamaica. Yeah. And, I mean, they're all over. It's called Belt and Roads that they're doing. And while we're dropping bombs, they're building.
Well, and it's interesting because
pull that quote right there.
U.S. policy, right? Like U.S. policy used to be, we would go into South America and Central America and Africa and Southeast Asia. We would help build roads. We would help build schools. We would, PEPFAR, the initiative to, give HIV and AIDS medication to African countries for very, very, very inexpensive, made such a difference and saved so many lives. And Trump has ruined all of that. And China senses an opportunity, and they've moved in and they've taken all of that over. Like we're cutting ourselves off at our own knees. It's the worst cell phone I think any country has ever done in modern history.
And a lot of this comes from our educational system. Because people just don't understand, first of all, how valuable we were around the world and how easy it is for a country we have turned China into our manufacturing sector, just about every sector. And we wonder, okay, we don't produce all these things anymore. Right. Who do you think benefits from that? China. When we throw these tariffs on China, China says, okay, you represent about 20% of our income. but Brazil and all the rest of the world, 70 something, we'll make up that 20% elsewhere. So we'll carry this tariff thing as long as you want to carry it.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, you're exactly right. We offshored all of our photovoltaic solar panel, battery manufacturing to China. They have improved all of that technology, and now they're rolling it out like massively in China. One of the biggest solar installations in the world is about to open in China. They are going to be carbon neutral before we are, because they have invested in solar and wind and battery storage to a degree that we can't understand, because because the government couldn't do it in this country. Quite frankly, it would have to be done by private industry, and private industry never ever makes the choice to do that because they care about the bottom dollar for the shareholder. Yeah, we messed it up. We could have. We were great. We're not great anymore.
Well, that's what happened to empires, right? You kind of, I mean, you start to get lazy, and when the rich folks, look, I always tell folks, and I don't know where you guys stand on economic systems or whatever, right? But I am for a free enterprise system with a strong social safety net. And I've been telling folks, you agree with that? Or?
Same, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, capitalism is actually, when you take a look at the definition of capitalism, it's really something that's extractive and something that is parasitic, etc. And it's hard to say that when both parties are saying the same thing. Nancy Pelosi comes out and says, "I'm a capitalist," and so okay, so where do we go now? How do we express? I'm like, I'm a free enterpriser. That's who I am. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think what we have seen is that unregulated capitalism is toxic, right? Like there has to be a strong social, governmental, regulatory process so that unchecked capitalism doesn't destroy the planet and the people and the economy and everything. We have to be able to do that in a way that takes humans into account and centers humans in the process. If we're centering corporations, then what we're going to get is giant corporations that don't care about people. It has to be people first.
Man, you nailed it.
I'm thinking about what you said the story you were telling about the woman in the cafe and her healthcare woes, and I'm juxtaposing that on this idea of government systems, capitalism versus government and social safety nets. And I think one of the biggest cons of our modern age is that MAGAs have this belief that anything the government does is bad. At this very base level of like, taxes bad, government bad, you can just feel this like emotional gut response to anything that, costs them a dime in taxes. And they can't see the output on the other end, either because they don't travel and they don't know how the rest of the world lives, or because our educational system sucks because we're not investing in it, right? Like, how can we reverse the trajectory our country is on and use language or discourse strategies like you did with the woman in the cafe by letting her speak first to help people understand that government is supposed to come in places where it's not profitable, but it makes sense, like healthcare. Like, to me, it's banana pants that everyone can't understand why helping fund healthcare costs is the proper role of government. And I was one of those people in my early 20s. I read too much Ayn Rand when I was in high school, and I was just like,
you read,
no, man. No, I know. I blame my junior year AP English teacher who had us all read The Fountainhead and enter that $10,000 essay contest that I did not win. And I'm still angry about it because I thought I should have won it. It was a good essay. But seriously, like, everyone gets sick. It feels like such an easy thing for people to understand. Everyone faces rejections from, this insurance company says you can't have this procedure or this cancer treatment. Like everybody comes up against that catastrophic potential of like, if you get X sort of illness, like you will be financially devastated. Your family will never recover. It happens so often that like, how can we as a country try to reverse the belief of like big government bad when there are things like transportation, roads, infrastructure, the idea that you spend some around the world because it's the right thing to do, but also it's strategically the smart thing to do because it helps form alliances that then get us ahead financially. All the things you were just talking about, AIDS in Africa and building infrastructure in South America. Like we have lost the ability to think big about government in any way because like, when did that even start? Is that a Reagan thing that it just became like government bad? It was a Reagan thing, right?
Yeah, there is this piece written by Lewis Powell, which he was a Democrat actually, and he was elevated to the Supreme Court by Richard Nixon. But he wrote something called the Powell Memo, also known as the Powell Manifesto, and in effect, it was a document that, and I'm just paraphrasing here, that said, progressives are getting too damn intelligent. Americans are getting too damn intelligent to realize that what we are doing is a fraud, that the economic system is a fraud. And to get around that, I'm paraphrasing all of this, okay? But to get around that, we have to infiltrate the churches, the schools, the media, and every aspect of one's life. And in doing so, we have to write the books. And when we go to colleges, we have to change the framing. And that's when things like liberal became a bad word. And people were scared to say, even now, liberals are scared to say they're liberals. You look and see how many people say that they're liberals or progressives. It's a small quantity compared to how many people say they're moderate or conservatives. But then, as Elizabeth Warren pointed out at one of our Netroots Nation, Lawrence, she came and she gave a speech that I taped. And she came out and she said, ask the questions that progressives believe in. Don't put a label onto it. Ask the questions. And all these people want these things. So most of these people are in fact progressives. But what the Powell Memo and the Heritage Foundation and the Cato Institute and all these guys do is they try to convince you why these things are bad. Mm-hmm. They don't give you any realities behind it. And then you adapt it, and they use race, gender, and all these other things to fool you. Let's look at the current Big Bad Beautiful bill, right? How did they get it passed? So all of us were talking all along that people were going to lose their health insurance and all of that. To people, that was abstract. To most people, that was an abstract thing. Democrats always say that. So they got full support for the Big Beautiful bill from their side of the aisle, from their people. But guess what happened last week? Last week, people started to get, in 6 states, people got what their new bill is going to be.
Yeah.
Not only the people on the exchange, but people that are getting their bills otherwise, because these insurance companies know that they're going to lose a lot of people. So everybody else's insurance is going to go up as well.
Yeah.
And they're seeing the reality. And now they're telling the Republican guys, no, we want the subsidies. They're saying, we want Obamacare. We hate Obamacare, but we want Obamacare. Right. We want the thing. So reality is a good thing, right? We have to take back all the things, in my opinion, that they have maligned. I tell people wholeheartedly, I'm a progressive, I'm a left-wing, pinko liberal, and a proud one.
Yeah.
And I take that. And then I ask them, you tell me what is it that I support that you don't. Please tell me. And I'll change. I'll become a conservative. Tell me what that I'm going to tell you that I like, that I want in policy. I'm not talking about abortion and all that stuff. That's a woman's business. That's not any of my business.
I would say that's a pretty, that's my leading one of hey, if you don't think I have bodily autonomy, we have nothing to talk about. So that's my first slice.
I just came out and said that completely wrong. What I meant to say in that regard, because I said that completely wrong. My idea behind that is that we are going to a call just came in and
Oh yeah.
Can you still see? There we go. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so my idea is we're never going to agree on that one. That is one of those things that don't have a mathematical thing for me to agree with you or not. All the other policies that we're going to talk about, you're going to agree with them. And so I'll sit down and say, come on, tell me which one, what policy? And nobody can come back and say it. And I think that is a kind of, we're not I'm not confrontational. I'm like, please tell me, I'm all ears. I want to know. I'm willing to change. Or you. I'm willing to change. I've had to change a lot of my beliefs before. After all, I'm from a Central American country with some hang-ups. I had to get rid of those hang-ups.
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting. And what hang-ups did you have to get rid of?
Oh, man. I wrote a book called Tribulations of an Afro-Latino. I had to tell people in there where I come. Look, I'm Latino, I'm Caribbean, and I'm Black. 3 strikes. Those folks there are homophobic and sexist. So I came over to the United States as a sexist homophobe. And I got slapped around into how stupid I was, how backward ass I was. And I made that change first here and then here. So and I mean wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. And here you are talking to a woman and a gay man.
Right.
I didn't even know you're gay, bro.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying,
I'm not wearing my pink triangle today.
Oh, okay. but what I'm saying is, so when, some people would give me a hard time for giving the folks that just like, stop speaking to that racist. And even, all of my viewers at KPFT, they give me a hard time for talking to everybody. I'm saying, look, if I could change, and by the way, I don't want you guys to think I just changed recently. This happened a long time ago, Lawrence. Okay, so by the time you knew me at Daily Coast, I had already changed, brother.
Yeah. Hey, man, I think it is incredibly important to be able to stand up and say, I was wrong, or I held some beliefs that I had to change. I thought I was an ally to Black people my whole life. And then during the Black Lives Matter, George Floyd thing, I really had to sit down and be like, no, you know what? There's still some stuff baked into my, it's not good enough to just say that. I've got to be anti-racist. I've got to actively work to make sure that I am not racist, audit all of my own thinking. And so, hey man, I appreciate you being able to say that and own it.
You got to immerse yourself. My show at KPFT came right before, right after we had a gay show on at KPFT.
Yeah.
And I used to make sure to go there just to hug guys. And let me explain why I had to hug guys, okay? I'm going to tell you why I had to do it. Because I was still, when I saw 2 guys, right, because of my backward thinking, it always I got that reaction, right?
Yeah.
And I had to get rid of that reaction. And I figured I can actively work about that, being among my gay brothers and backslapping and hugging and all of that. And finally now, because let me tell you how I know it changed. When I said you change here first and then here, right?
Yeah.
Here change when I could hug on my gay brother and not do this.
Yes.
Is anybody watching me doing this?
Right. Are people going to think that I'm gay because I'm?
I don't give a damn. Right?
Yeah.
So that's how it is. And when it came to stuff about sexism, I used to do the questioning. I remember one time going to Move to Amend. I was a board member of Move to Amend, and they shut down an entire issue because we had somebody said something sexist. This whole conference changed to take care of that. And when that when I was on board to say, yeah, we got to knock this out because we will not have guys dominating and all that kind of stuff. It was like, that's me. Oh, damn. Yeah, I guess that's me. All right. So
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Self-auditing is important. And I would argue that maybe that's the thing that conservatives don't have lost the ability to do, right? Is hold the idea in their head, like, could I be wrong about this? Like, not am I, but like, is it even possible that I could be wrong? You know? I think a lot of conservatives believe that they're 100% right and that they couldn't possibly be wrong.
Yes.
And Lawrence, I would even give space to say that happens on both sides of the aisle.
Oh,
the
for sure.
purity test of leftists is immense. And they'll be like, so-and-so said this 30 years ago. And I'm like, well, geez, 30 years ago, I was quoting John Galt.
Right.
It's really into objectivism. Like, that's actually the mark of a thinker that views change. And it doesn't mean that they're flip-flopping. I hate that term. I think that was a conservative term from a few decades ago. It means they're thinking and evolving and learning. And Egberto, I think your lived experience, what you just described, hugging your gay brothers, like that explains why you're able to do what you do. Because you yourself had to figure out how to change this and then how to move this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're trying to move this in people with the hopes that it filters down, right?
Right. I mean, because there are two parts, right? I mean, you can know what is right, but you also have to feel what is right, And it comes there. You got to feel what is right. And when you know it's complete when you feel what is right, because then you're going to solve those problems with a passion,
Yeah. And with modern day MAGAism, I think it goes right for here and it's skipping here.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Yes.
That's why it's so hard to convert.
Yes.
They've lost this.
Yes. Well, they burn in books, right? They don't want people to read, right?
Yeah.
They want to
teachers and they're defunding education.
Stop teaching civics in school so people literally don't know how the Constitution works, how our government's supposed to work. Yeah. Egberto, we're coming to the top of the hour, and we'd like to do this thing where we ask all of our guests the same question at the end. And I think, you're Gen X like us, I'm pretty sure. And we'd like to ask, what do you think is the ultimate Gen X song? Like, what is the song that represents Gen X? And I'd love to hear your perspective because you grew up in Panama, so you've probably got a really different perspective on this.
Marvin, no. First I was going to say Marvin Gaye, but now I'm going to move. Instead of Marvin Gaye, says Bob Marley. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And I'm not going to give you one song. I'm going to give you one album. And it's called Exodus. Check out that album. Nice. Exodus.
Lawrence and I both grew up in Florida and went to college at the University of Florida. And I just associate Bob Marley so heavily with my college experience, even though it wasn't new then. But like Jimmy Buffett and Bob Marley all day long at all of the bars at the University of Florida, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I actually disliked both for a long time because I just was like, ugh, this is playing everywhere. And it took coming back to Bob Marley as an adult with a bit more sophisticated musical taste and a bit more context to be like, oh, he was an incredible songwriter. Like, this is gorgeous music. Like, I sort of had in my head just like, that's like party music. And I'm like, no, that was... But I can totally see that.
That is a great choice. Okay, I have to admit, I'm not sure that I know Exodus particularly well. So today I'm going to go back and listen to Exodus again and check it out. I'm so excited for that recommendation.
I'm looking to see which tracks are on it.
Yeah, there's an a cappella one. There's one that he does with the guitar that I think you're gonna. I can't remember the name of the song right now, but I think that you're gonna like the whole album, jamming and
he's gonna like the one I recognize on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Egberto, man, it's been such an honor to get to talk to you today. It's been so great to meet you. Please come back on the show at some point. We'd love to have you back anytime.
Anytime, and I'd love to have both of you as well. Well, Dana was already on the show, so our audience know who Dana is.
All right.
Yeah, me walking my dog spontaneously, my phone battery about to die, being like, hey, I'm speaking Spanish. Like,
yeah, she was speaking full Spanish with the right accent. Amazing. Yeah, that was good. So look, I am honored, and I'd love to have you on Politics Done Right, because you guys, you know what it's all about, man.
Well, thank you, sir.
We'd be honored. Yes. And I'm not kidding when I told Lawrence that we have to thank Walter Ryan, because he was the one who connected us and was like, you should reach out to Egberto. I've told him about you. And then I told Lawrence that you were coming on the show, and he it was like Santa Claus was coming to town.
I lost my mind. I was like, do you know who that is?
My daily close brother. That was great. Hey, it was great. It was great being with you guys, man. Y'all are a lot of fun. I can tell you that.
Thank you. We are having a blast. And in 1 minute, we are going to be on with Marlon Weems. I don't know if you follow him, but you guys.
I love Marlon. I love, tell Marlon, he knows I would listen, but guess who I'm on? Wait, you doing it right away? I got to listen to that one. Yeah, because I'm on with Rhymes in a little bit.
Nice.
Oh my God, yeah. I love it. All right. Thanks to everyone for being here. If you want more of us, join us with Marlon in 1 minute. Lawrence, I need to say hello to my children before they go to school, so I might be 1 minute later than you.
All right.
I will be right there.
Yeah.
Love you all.
Thank you so much.
Egberto.
Love you all, man. Peace. Yeah.
Bye.